Username rejected. Your password is incorrect. Override denied. Your password is incorrect. Override denied. Program activated.
Hello, and welcome to another Username Nerd.
These days, I'm gonna get you.
I'm gonna be running this ship.
Get you.
My name is Mike Hewitt, and with me always is Tim Hewitt.
There we go.
I'm gonna say your name this
There's
time.
that. This time, you say it every time.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter.
No, not true.
You always say it.
And
is fine.
welcome to our podcast. We are
Yes.
brothers, no relation.
Just
kidding.
That
We
doesn't
are
make any
related.
sense. But
I
Game
know.
of Thrones. We're talking about
We're
Game of Thrones.
talking about Game of Thrones. You're ready to
I'm
get
ripping
into
and roaring,
this.
man. We've still got so much to talk about.
We're going to
Let's
go on a
not
lighter
start.
note because the last one was full of death, dismemberment of special parts,
Oh man. You wanna
torture,
talk? Well, then let's start with Khaleesi.
killing babies in bellies at a wedding,
Yeah, that was pretty messed up.
slitting wives' throats, and not. I mean, yeah, this show
It
is
was,
a horrible show.
It really, really is.
So,
Who is that?
what evilness do you have to tell us today?
All right. So first of all, Khaleesi.
Khaleesi,
You
love
know
her.
more about this
I
side
love
of the story than I
Khaleesi.
do because you're really into that side of the story. You go ahead. Every time the
Really?
other continent comes up, I'm just kind of like, meh,
Really?
I'm a little bit bored.
I feel like she is she's taken an interesting turn. She has grabbed followers, and she is nice. That's what it is.
Yes.
That's what it is. You don't like the
I don't
niceness.
like the niceness. I'm like,
And
get some evil going on.
She's
here.
just like, she cares about the people, and she's taking like downtrodden people and then rising them up.
yeah,
And it's working for a while.
yeah.
It's
And it
working
starts to
for a
not work.
long while, and she keeps getting more and more followers.
Well, so explain.
First of
So
all,
she
she
goes to a
goes
city,
and to buy
some slaves,
slaves or
a slave army,
the slave army,
the Unsullied.
and she has her Khaleesi group that she got married into.
Her Khaleesi entourage.
What is that? Yeah, whatever those people are.
Yeah, the planeswalkers or whatever they are.
Yeah, or whatever else.
The horse people.
And she's got those people, but then she's gone to this to get this because
An army.
her advisors are telling her to get an army, go over there and take your throne back, because she was the heir of the Mad King, and she's the heir.
Okay, if you don't know what's going on there, you shouldn't be listening to this podcast. You at least
Really?
know who the Mad King is and that she's the heir of the Mad King.
Okay.
Okay, you can explain it. Go ahead.
She's also, the white-haired old man up at King
yeah.
of the Wall.
the wall.
Yeah, she's
like his daughter or
great-great-granddaughter.
Yeah, you're right.
Because he was the father of the Mad King or whatever else, which I don't know how that works. But
Anyway,
anyways,
she goes and she buys the Unsullied.
and she goes but she doesn't really buy them.
Well, no, because the dude's like, yeah, you want to see how, like, BA my army is? And he's like, watch. And he goes up to one of the guys,
And just
takes a knife and just cuts his nipple off. Just cuts it right off. And the guy doesn't even flinch or anything. Now, I understand it's TV, so that's
Right.
not real. But
yes,
that's messed up.
yeah, that is messed up. And she's like, he's like, nipples are
No.
not for men, don't matter, or whatever else. And she's disgusted with that. And the other thing, the whole time, he is like saying a different language, horrible things about her.
Oh, that's right.
And then
But at the end, at the
at
very
the end,
end,
she like turns to him and like speaks in his native tongue. He's like, "Oh no!" And then he like, does she just tell the army to rise up?
yeah, no,
Or
no,
did
he,
the
he
dragons
buys,
just
what
come?
it is he's like, I want for all of my army, I want this much gold, and I want a dragon. And she's like, okay. Then she brings a dragon to him on a chain,
And just eats him.
and then she gets the rest of the army, and she's like, okay, you guys are mine now. So, attack.
I know.
And has them attack, and then she's like, dragon, attack.
I
And
know.
the dragon burns through life.
Yeah.
And she gets her money back, which is smart. That's,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, smart business play.
I mean, I understand these people don't have TVs, but in every gangster movie, it's like, here's $1 million for all these guns, and as soon as they get the guns, they turn them and kill them and take their $1 million back. I just
doesn't make much sense.
Who didn't
right?
see that coming? But she does it and really takes on, and then she keeps going. The next section is of people. She just keeps getting more and more people, and people are following her. I mean, she is a good politician.
Well, I felt like because doesn't she like come across a city where they have slaves, and she's like, well, she frees
that's
all
that
the
next
slaves.
one where there's children like
crucified, pointing towards the city.
road
signs.
Yeah, like road signs, like one every certain couple miles.
It's messed up.
And she's pretty pissed.
Yeah.
And she goes and takes them, and then she does the same thing to the people that are the masters or whatever else.
The higher ups,
Yeah. And then she decides just to stay there. It's like this gigantic... and she's like, why am I amassing this
why
army?
am I trying to go across the sea?
I have a great place here. Let's just do this here.
Is that what she just ends on? She decides to just stay there?
She decides to stay there. But then all of a sudden, some of the slaves are having a hard time because that's all they've known. The older slaves
one
have
of the cities
no idea.
One of the cities she took over, the masters are like, she's gone now. Let's take our slaves back. Then they take slaves again. That's how it starts.
Really?
Because the first city, she freed all the slaves. Then she goes on to the next city, frees all the slaves. The first city she went to, once she's gone...
I don't remember that.
Because then she sends what's-his-face over there with her
I
army.
do know some of the older slaves are just like, I'm not a young man. I don't know anything other than to this. It's being free is a young man's game. And then all of a sudden... there's this big just kind of class war.
Where the people in the gold masks?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they start killing some of these really highly trained... That's the part that kind of threw me.
Well, but they're fighting like 10 to 1. You know.
And so they're kind of fighting back and forth, and I'm just like, this massive army should just be wiping them
I
out.
agree.
And then the other thing is, someone comes and brings... Like, the dragons are starting to get a little out of control, and they kill sheep, but then they actually kill a girl, and that's when she's like, okay, I gotta lock him up, and that was not a good choice.
Which, she locks the black dragon, which I thought, really? Can't come up with a better name for your dragon than Dragon, is the one that killed the little girl. She can't find him, so she locks up the other 2 dragons.
Yes.
That's not fair.
I know.
Those dragons weren't the ones that screwed up. The one dragon screwed up still out there flying around.
Yeah. Ugh.
Anyway.
So, yeah, and then
there's a big revolt.
They're kind of getting... The dragons get a little pissed.
Pissed at her.
Yeah.
And they
there are a couple
snipping and biting at her as well.
Yeah. So, that's a crazy messed up.
Then they make some negotiations to keep open the fighting pits.
That's right.
You're like, it's at least you got to at least give us the fighting pits, right? And she's like, I don't like it, but okay. Well, then she's supposed to marry some dude. That's when she kind of decides to stay, because she's like, if I marry the leader of this other city, that'll create calm.
Right.
So I'll just stay. She goes to marry this dude, goes to a fight, and
what's his name?
I can find it.
The guy that was her right-hand man the whole time, and then all of a sudden they find out he was a traitor.
I have it right here.
Which I see at Joran. At one point, he was a traitor. I understand that, but then he,
Obviously,
anyone
point,
following her is wants
to help.
So he's doing everything, and she was lenient with him.
Yeah,
because she should kill him. But she's like, go and leave. And he keeps coming back, and she's like, go. Yeah.
But then he ends up saving her life there towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and that's the thing I was going to say.
Because all of the people from the gold masks.
I'm like, all right, there's a few things I really want to see out of this show. And one of them was dragon stuff, right?
Right.
And I'm like, okay, they talk about the Mad King would ride a dragon.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, all right, let's see it.
Yep.
And she does, man. She gets up on top of the dragon.
Man.
Flies away.
The other part is they're all down on this little field because her army's been wiped out.
I don't know.
And there's only a few people.
You would imagine they have better security.
And the dragon comes she jumps on the dragon and just leaves everybody.
Yeah, she's like, good luck.
Like she leaves her handmaiden. That's like her best friend. I know, like
in trouble.
You're all gonna die. See you later. I got my dragon.
You guys should get
and
dragons.
a part of me is like, there's enough room on that dragon for more people.
Yeah.
But hey, you know what?
Hey, you know what? That wasn't my
the
biggest
Titanic
thing.
is sinking. This is my boat. You
That
get on the
wasn't-
next boat.
That wasn't my big thing. My big thing was, how does the dragon know who not to attack and who to attack? Because he was burning bad guys right and left,
I know.
but he wasn't burning any of the good guys, and they were right there next to each other. I was like, that's one smart dragon.
And it was the black dragon.
Yeah, the
which
one that's
is the
like
one
unruly.
Yes, the one unruly.
The teenage
the
pissed off
green
dragon.
red, the green and red one. Yeah. Anyways, that's all I want to talk about.
No. Arya. Arya then comes over to that continent as well, and
That's right.
goes to the many-faced god
Yeah,
temple.
just
just
very weird.
What are they, masks?
No.
Are they actual people's faces skinned off, or
They
magic?
what I think? Yeah, it's definitely magic.
I think it's
I
magic.
think they kill them and absorb their souls, and you can become them. Yes. Yeah.
Well, then,
Kind of like Mystique. If Mystique was, if I wanted to be
like
you,
a rogue,
I had to,
Mystique sort of thing.
yeah, Rogue and Mystique. You like kill them and take their soul. Yeah,
But then it was really weird because people were like coming there to die,
yeah.
like in old age. Like, let me drink from the fountain, and I'll gladly,
give you my.
I'll give you my soul today for a hamburger tomorrow.
I know.
But anyway, she has to then she has to lie.
Yeah.
It gets really weird with all that. I don't know what's going on.
That's another part I feel like the book explains
maybe.
more. The problem is this. I like reading books, but I read the first book, and it's exactly... Because normally
really.
you read, like, Harry Potter books are like, I don't know, 15 billion pages long, and they can only condense it in a 2-hour movie, maybe 3 hours, so they're cutting a lot out of it. That first season, I read that book. That book is long, but it fills the whole season up. Think about it. It's 10 episodes, about 10 hours, so it covers it completely. So I don't know. I feel like the books are just a lot of the same thing I'm watching on the show.
Maybe just getting a little bit out
A
of
little
the
bit
book,
more.
which-
That's why I'm just like, I don't know if it's worth
maybe
it.
a few more good people die in the books. So, it's probably worth reading.
At the end, before we go, I want to talk about the next season and how he might not be a part of it. George
Who?
R.R. Martin.
Oh, that's right.
Anyways.
Anyway, so now we're getting into the good stuff.
The good stuff.
Yes. The stuff that I really wanted to see.
You're just
We've done that.
you're making marks and scratching things off. and
Stannis Baratheon.
people are dying left and right on your
the
piece
army
of paper.
with the Red Witch.
Yes.
He
Oh my gosh.
finds the
whoa.
he finds the Baratheon bastard. The kid who's an armorer.
Oh, well, before that, let's go way back before that.
Whoa.
It might have been in season 2, but let's talk about it
That's fine.
anyways. First of all, this is the little brother of
Robert Baratheon.
Robert Baratheon. Yes,
that right?
Robert. Yes.
Yeah.
The guy from
The original Big Fat King.
yes, sorry, the Big Fat King,
The Big Fat King.
which I really liked. You didn't
Yeah,
like
he was
him.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like him a lot. And so is that how it works? I don't know how kingship works. Does it go
would be
down
the
to the
next
son?
blood descendant, which would be his son, which was Joffrey. However, Stannis was like, "No, he's not your son.
No, it goes down to your brother.
No, he's not your son. He's born in incest, so it's not really."
Yeah.
So he's like, "The real throne is to me."
That makes sense.
So that's why he was like, "Okay."
And apparently he's a good guy because that one guy's vouching for him, but then he starts going down a bad path with this Red Witch girl.
Yeah, this witch shows
The
up.
first thing he does
Well,
before
first of all,
anything
he's
else.
married.
Oh, that's
He's
right.
married and he has sex with the witch lady because his wife can't give him a kid.
That's right.
He has sex with the witch lady
And
she
bursts
a demon.
And who does that kill?
I know. I only know it because Brienne of Tarth was supposed to protect whoever it killed,
Yeah.
and she's like, "I saw a shadow with his face on it kill whoever he was supposed to protect." Anyway, he goes. It's like a demon assassin.
Okay, but if you're ever having spoiler, if you're having sex with somebody and immediately she gets pregnant and a demon pops out and runs out of the room,
Don't continue business.
just
Yeah.
run.
Walk away.
This is not a healthy
Yeah.
relationship to be in.
There's a good point to cut
I'm
your
just
losses.
saying.
Demon spawn is that
Demon
point.
spawn. I'm
That is
literally,
that point.
literally demon spawn is a point where you need to run and find a different woman.
Well, and she does all sorts of weird stuff after that too, right? I mean, they
Yeah.
try and poison her. She lives through that.
Did they try to poison her?
Yeah, his main right hand guy tries to poison her. Remember?
And I do remember this. He was on an island, like this small little. Not even you wouldn't call it an island. Just like a rock in the middle of the water.
Davos is
Yes,
Stannis'
and they
right-hand
come and then they find him and bring him back, and he's like, yeah. After
Yeah.
the napalm, ship thing
He's
or
like,
whatever
I'm
else.
done. But yeah. Oh man.
So then, go ahead
Oh,
go
gosh.
ahead.
So then they do some other stuff, and they end up north. No. They capture the Robert Baratheon's bastard child, which was the blacksmith kid.
Yes.
And she's like, I want to have sex with you. And then in the middle of that, she's like, nope.
Hey,
and
no.
gets his
She's
blood
like,
or something like that.
she's like, oh yeah, but you know what? Let's do a little 50 Shades of Grey here. I'm going to tie you down.
Man.
Oh, too late.
Too late, because now I got
Oh.
your blood. And she puts 3 drops of blood in some fire, and that's what killed. It killed
Another
Robert.
spoiler alert. If you're woman with if you're on your first date, don't do 50 Shades of Grey.
No.
It's never
Never
ends
good.
up good.
I
Especially if
haven't
it's a
seen
red
50
witch.
Shades of Grey, so I don't know.
I don't either. I haven't either.
Okay.
I'm just saying, don't get tied down.
But she's 3 drops of blood, and one for Robb Stark, one for Robb Stark's mother, and one for the one we all wanted to die, Joffrey.
Oh,
and
yeah.
all 3 of those people die
Oh.
because he has the king's blood in him, and she used the king's blood to cast a spell, and all 3 of those people died.
I guess you're right. Yeah.
So she's like, "Well, that's red magic for you. That's the Lord of Flames, which was their one. There's only one god, and he's the Lord of Flames. What does that sound like?
What?
The devil? I don't know. I'm just saying.
Oh, okay.
Lord of Flames.
There's another thing we need to talk about.
Okay.
There's some place where not the mountain. What's the other?
The Hound.
The Hound. He goes and he fights somebody.
Brienne of Tarth.
No, he's fighting some people, and they're saying this is the one true God. And dude, he like fights him and he cuts him in half.
Oh, that's right.
And he's like, "See, there is no God." And he turns around. He's like,
And the
he
guy's
just
healed.
heals up. Well, he's not healed. He's like scarred, but it's heals up.
I remember that.
And he walks to him and he's like, "There is a God, and the one true God." I'm like, "Oh my
Yeah.
gosh!"
I do remember that. Gosh, I remember. I wish I would
I'd
have
forgotten
remembered.
about that. Anyways,
That
sorry.
wasn't the Hound, was it?
That was the Hound
Yeah, I think you're right.
because Arya was with him.
Yeah.
Anyways, continue on.
All right. So, they make their way up north and end up kind of saving Jon Snow whenever the wildlings attack. So let's get into that.
Let's go
We'll come
now.
back.
Go to now. Skip back to
All
Jon
right, so
Snow.
Jon Snow is up north with the wall, right? And then
Golly.
basically there's one wildling
You're right,
that's
there is a
trying
lot
to
to talk
accumulate all the wildlings into one big army. And they end up attacking the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Which was awesome. You could see giants.
Yes.
Pretty freaking cool to see the
And
giants
they were
do
talking
that.
how the giants are like the last of the descendants, and you just killed like the last
Yeah.
of the descendant. Yeah.
Which there's only one left now.
I think he was the giant king.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, something like
You're
that.
right.
There-
But, so anyway, I love because you're just drinking from a pitcher. Like it's nothing. Like a pitcher of water.
I'm sorry. Yeah, it's a gigantic
That's
pitcher of
cool.
water.
I'm just glad you got
Just
water
skip
this
the
time.
glass. Just skip the glass and go to the pitcher.
What else? The wildlings attack, and Baratheon comes in and saves them.
We're on audio. You don't have to tell them I'm drinking from a gigantic pitcher of water.
Sorry. It was just odd to me. But Stannis, no, who's the guy that comes in? Yeah, Stannis comes in and saves them, right? And then they all make their way back to Castle Black.
Right.
And they're staying there for a while, and then Stannis is like, "Nope, I'm going to Winterfell." Winterfell?
Sure.
Where it all starts?
Sure.
Okay. Anyway, he's like, "I'm going there."
It sounds
Take it
right,
back.
but I don't know. It sounds
Nah, I
wrong
think
when you
so,
say
but
it.
yeah.
When you say it with like
When I say
Winterfell?
Winterfell?
Now
With
I'm
a
like
question
questioning it. Yeah.
So he's like, "We're going there," and they're like, "You're not going to make it before the winter comes." because winter is coming.
Winter's
Yeah.
always coming.
And
Winter's
then,
always coming, isn't it?
Yeah, winter is coming, I think.
But even when winter's over, isn't winter coming anyways?
Well, but
that's
it'll be years.
well, yeah, but isn't it eventually coming? They don't know. It could be years from now, anyways. That's the other weird part about it.
Kind of like a clock
It could be
is
like
wrong
a summer.
tells the right time
yeah,
twice, 2 times
exactly.
a day.
Yeah, it is.
Whatever.
Yeah, a stopped clock tells times right.
Anyway, they're making their way there, and they get snowed, right? And they're like, "Oh no!" As the snow builds up on Stannis' army.
They got snowed, not Jon Snow.
No.
You just got snowed.
No. So they get snowed in or whatever, and literally, like every night, like people are leaving. He has all these sellswords in his army. And it's like, oh, all the sellswords left, and they took all the horses and all the food. So we're pretty screwed here.
Mm-hmm.
And so finally, he tells his right hand guy, Davos, and he's like, okay, go back to Jon Snow, ask for food and stuff to get us to Winterfell.
Right.
And he's like, should I take the queen and your daughter with me? And he's like, no, they stay with me. He's like, are you sure? And he goes, yes, they stay with me. Leaves. And then the Red Witch is like, well, here's the deal. I can cast another spell, but I need royal blood in order to do that. And there's only one person with royal blood right now.
Okay, so that's the
your
other
daughter
thing.
with dragon face.
So the bastard
Hang
son.
on.
Okay,
and
yes.
they burn her.
They burn her.
They tie her to a stake and burn her in front of her mother and her father.
Oh, and the soldiers are like, what?
I
They're
know.
watching it, and they're just like horrified. Like, I can't believe you're doing.
gosh.
And she's like, "Mommy, Daddy."
She's like,
Why are
"Please
you?
no." I know.
Why are you doing this, Daddy?
Oh
Mommy.
my god, that was the most difficult part for me. You talk about
And
you
then,
talk about
yeah,
whatever's face.
you're right.
Hang
That
on.
was very hard.
That was the worst.
And then to see them,
then she
they changed their minds. You could see them change their minds after
As it was
she's
happening.
as it's happening,
yeah,
and she hangs herself and kills
it's
herself.
too late. Yeah. Oh, so messed up. And then because the Red Witch is like, if you do this, you will take Winterfell. They get to Winterfell.
Oh, that's right.
They don't even take it.
They don't take it. And
Gosh,
and that's right, because Theon Greyjoy kills him. And he knows, he's like, I screwed everything up. This is not real.
I know.
First of all, to become king, to kill your own child,
That's messed up.
why are
What's
you
the payoff?
becoming king
Yeah.
to begin
Right?
with? I just...
No, I agree.
Yeah, but you know what? That was very satisfying to see
him
him
die, yeah.
like, I did this for nothing.
Well, I haven't really liked him for a while.
I didn't like him for a while either.
I was like,
But
you,
at least-
you may be in the right, but I don't like how you're doing stuff.
This show's making it makes you very vengeful. You're like, I want to. Yes, you deserve to get it all taken away from you, and die in poison. Yeah, you deserve that. Joffrey, and to see him have somebody come and he's going to die, and to see the look on his face like, I screwed up.
Yeah.
Oh god,
This is where it all went bad. Okay, so then the last part, Jon Snow.
Jon Snow.
After all that stuff with Baratheon happened,
Oh golly,
Jon Snow then gets.
you're right.
voted in.
There's no episode we can do where it's happy.
I know it. So Jon Snow,
I thought we got rid of it all.
he gets voted in as like Grand Inquisitor. What do they call it?
I don't know.
Like the head of the Night's Watch. They vote him in as head of the Night Watch.
Oh man,
And half of them love it, half of them don't.
This is
Hang
gonna
on,
go
hang
in a
on.
bad
So
place.
then he's like, well,
I
crap, you know
forgot
what?
about this too.
White Walkers are coming. Sam has killed a White Walker with Dragonglass. Stop being so depressed and talk about it with me.
So depressed.
So Sam has killed a White Walker with Dragonglass. We know they're out there. And also we know there's a big wildling army out there.
Yeah.
So he's like, I need to let the wildlings in. Because there's land south of the wall that's safe. They can farm. Everyone's like, no, we can't do that. We've been fighting the wildlings forever.
Yeah, I
And
know.
he goes, no, listen. He goes, they're either with us
Or against us.
or they're White Walkers.
right.
That's
yes. We're just feeding them the White
exactly.
Walkers. Oh, and before then, he goes up there, and remember, the White Walkers attack and take tons of
That's
people.
what I was about to get to. Yes.
Oh, okay.
So he
totally.
he gets the Baratheon ships to bring them down south. He finally convinced everybody. He says, "This is what I'm doing." Done. Takes the ships up, and he
That's
convinces them
right.
all to come with them, except for like a few. But then, White Walkers attack. Which this is what I was gonna say. There are things I want out of this show, and seeing the White Walkers actually like attack something in full force was one of them.
Right.
I was so happy to see that.
Yeah.
However, pretty messed up
Because
they killed a lot of
that
people.
was the first scene of anything in the show was a White Walker, and then we saw nothing for like 2 or 3 seasons.
It was insane.
And it's just like,
So to see them again is like very gratifying. No, you do
Right.
get to see like a few things, and the one thing that really chilled me was the White Walker stealing the baby, and then taking it to
True.
like some ice fortress.
but that was like season 3.
touched him, and then his eyes went cold.
Yeah,
or
that was like
whatever.
season 3 or season
messed
4.
up. But you see this big battle with White Walkers, and all of a sudden there's like some like mega White Walker who shows up, and he has this ice sword.
Yeah, but that'd be like Sheldon in episode 1 of Big Bang, and then not coming back until
no, I
season
agree.
4.
It's
It's
messed up.
nuts.
I
Anyways,
agree.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
right.
but he has like that
sword.
ice sword, and he's everything he touches with that ice sword just shatters, except for Jon Snow's blade, which is Valyrian steel.
Right.
So, and they lose all the dragon glass. So,
Yeah.
I mean, what are you gonna do? You got no way to fight them. But it's funny because the horsemen up on the hill, the White Walker horsemen up on the hill, and the one that they sent down with the ice blade seemed different than all the rest of the White Walkers. But Jon Snow kills that one.
Yeah.
The
That's
sentient
right.
one. It seems like sentient and unsentient. Sentient
Yeah.
and like animal. You know what I mean?
Right.
But then at the very end, the White Walker comes. They all get on their boats and they're leaving. And Jon Snow's boat's like the last one to leave. And you see one of the sentient walkers come out, and he's like, he stands on the deck and he just raises his hands up in the air. And as he raises his hands, all the dead just slowly
That's
get
right.
up. And it's like, what are you going
It's
to do?
like
You can't. You're screwed.
Nothing you do will matter because
Oh my gosh.
it just collectively forces.
So I really, even with the wildlings' help, I don't know how they're going to defend against the White Walkers because that's messed up. What are they going to do? Dragon Glass was the only thing they could do,
Yeah.
and they left all that up in that wildling village. So now they don't have that. And
You've made me feel hopeless.
well, then to make it even worse,
Oh.
they get back to Castle Black.
Oh,
And they
that's
let-
right.
It's not over yet. Like,
Golly.
they let all the White Walkers, or they let all the wildlings go through, and the main guy who was opposed to Jon Snow winning was like, hey, Jon, come here. It's about your friend or whatever. And Jon Snow comes down there, and they're like, they see a big group of people huddled around something, and when he busts through the huddle to see what it is, it's just a sign that says traitor.
I
And
know.
He turns around,
and
and
totally.
they stabbed him. Oh,
That was the last scene. And I just look at Missy, and I'm just like, well, that sucks.
which is funny because I've said if they kill Jon Snow,
I know.
I'm out.
The other thing is this. I feel like, and I told her, I was like, okay, this is the last episode. I'm like, the last episode's never good.
It's never good.
You should just hold off until the next season because at least you can watch that last one when you're like, oh, man.
You'll
at least
hear-
you got
you'll hear
another
about
episode you can watch to make you a little happier.
You'll always hear about it. You know what I mean? Somebody will tell you.
I
Somebody
don't
will spoil it.
I don't know.
Of
Anyways,
course, what are the spoilers for Game of Thrones? Bad stuff happens. Okay, well, I knew that was going to happen.
true.
But Jon Snow looks like he's dead, man.
Now,
looks like he is deceased.
this is what I've heard. We don't know anything about season 6.
Okay.
What do we have anything else to talk about before I can start going into what I think's going to
I
happen?
think that was it for me. That was all the major plot points I wanted to cover.
Oh, Jon Snow. That was the other thing with Jon Snow.
You know nothing. Oh, that's right.
The woman.
The woman. And then she dies in front of him, too.
Yes, and they finally, because she shoots him, and they're going back and forth, and then
just like-
she dies, and he goes to her, and she's just like,
Yeah.
we should just stay in the cave, and he's like, I know, and it's just like. Love. You can't have love.
Feels so
There's
bad
no
for
love.
Jon
There's
Snow.
no love in Game of Thrones.
There's none.
If you love somebody, they're gonna die.
Yep.
Probably dismembered, slowly or filleted.
You know what? There is something. Right. There is something else. Cersei.
And
Gives
Arya.
power to like a priest.
Oh,
and
there
the
is
priest
stuff.
forms some sort of army and starts like kidnapping people. So the Prince of Dorne, who is in
that
the
backfires on her.
didn't it? Right.
That totally backfires on her.
She does it to get because then now that Joffrey's dead, her other son's king.
Right.
And he seemed. What do you think of him? What do you think
I like him. I like him a lot.
I think he's gonna do well.
And the girl is very sly. She goes
She's
in
good. I like
and
her
she
too.
knows exactly what to do. She knows, and
She's like,
she's trying to
we
be.
can keep this secret from your mom, right?
Yeah,
And I'm
right,
like,
right,
you're
right,
sly.
right.
You know,
Here's a little bit of my shoulder. See, yep. Oh,
in medieval
oh,
times.
Oh, this is a new thing
That's a
called
lot.
a bra.
What do you think of that?
That bra strap. That's, and then just
but
leaves.
I think. Okay, so never mind.
So, and
Cersei gets pissed,
and she gets these people to kind of take over,
which
and
are like
gives
priests.
this ultimate power or whatever else, and it backfires on her because they're like, you have sins as well,
yeah.
and so they make her like strip naked.
No,
and,
first they capture her and keep her in a cell.
that's right, for
and
a
they're like,
very long time.
would you like a sip of water today? No, well, then you must confess.
Yes.
And she's like, I won't confess. Okay, well, no water
yeah,
for an
yeah,
entire day, no more.
yeah.
I'm like, man, how long could you go?
3 days is all you can do with no water.
Well,
You can go like 40 days without food, but
I think
no
I only asked
water,
her
you
3
die.
times.
You just know,
Which that's it. They were just actually like a ladle of water. They're
Yeah.
like, would you like a ladle of water today? That's all you get.
So,
But then she's like, I confess. Fine.
and then they like strip her down, and she has to go through the whole city with like
a bear buck naked.
just
walking
people
through
just
there with a lady
throwing
behind
stuff.
her who's like, ring, 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 disgraced.
I know,
ring, ring, ring.
I know.
She's a whore. ring, ring, ring. Like, what?
And everyone's at first not doing much.
Yeah, they're all kind of
But then
afraid.
they're all like just throwing stuff at her, and she goes it's a long time.
Like, things that you would never dream to say to another human being. These
Yes.
people are shouting at her. Like,
Yes.
a guy jumps in front of her, like, opens up his robe and's like, hey, lady, like, let's do this right now. Like, what?
I know. It's
And then,
it's
but then,
the worst world in the planet to live in.
and then, but you know what? This is along that line too, because the guy who jumps out and like spreads his thing and's like, "Hey, let's do this, Queenie." You know what happens to him?
What?
Immediately after he does that, the guys, the priest guys in front of him, beat him with billy club, like, pa, 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 just beat the crap out of him, and to where he's laying on the ground like crippled now. Like, was it worth it? Was it worth it, dude, to jump out and flash the queen? Because now
Oh
you're
my
in a
gosh.
bloody pile on the ground. Everyone, if you go back and look, everyone that says something like jumps
They
out in
just
front of her,
beat the crap out
they
of them.
just beat them with billy clubs. Just beat them. So, what?
This is the
First of
most effed up world.
Yeah, because they want Cersei to be shamed, but anybody that shames her, they're beating with clubs. It's awful. It's awful.
That's the worst thing to laugh at.
I'm just glad we don't actually live in that world, because, man.
A lot of the movies I love, I want to be in that world. I want to be in
Not
Star
this
Wars. I want to be in Star Trek. It's a reason why I
Not
want
this
to
one.
watch these. This is not.
No.
This is
Awful.
and it's not
No, you
even
know
like
what?
medieval times. Medieval times is a cakewalk.
Oh, yeah, compared to this.
This evil, drastic,
Exactly.
evil world.
At least in medieval times, you didn't have to worry about dragons and magic and...
I don't remember the guy who flashed the queen, but your rendition of it is
It's
spot on.
great. It's
and
like,
awesome.
hey, Queenie, let's do this. And then beat.
And they just
Just
beat
beat,
him with
beat,
billy
beat.
clubs. Oh
It's
my
awesome.
gosh.
All right, you were going to talk about the books.
I'm crying.
Sorry.
Okay. I feel like there was something else.
Is it worth it?
Oh, Arya. We didn't talk about Arya and them and
Many-faced God? We did.
No. She kills the Hound.
Does she, though?
No, she doesn't kill him.
She leaves him for dead.
And she leaves him for dead, but she takes his gold.
Yeah.
And he's like, kill me. And she's like,
Meh.
nope. And she just walks away with the most stone-cold face I've ever seen somebody.
She's a killer.
And she goes through a list of people. She just keeps listing this people
Oh.
of how those people are going to die.
Well, then you remember the first person on her list
This is the Hound.
shows up in
Oh no, that's right.
shows up in that new continent she's at when she's working for the many-faced god guys.
Oh, that's right.
And
that gets her in trouble.
That does, because she was supposed to kill this skinny man, but she follows this guy to a whorehouse. And the guy in the whorehouse, like,
Still
they
laughing
bring
at the
in-
Billy Club guy.
This is even worse. They bring in one whore, and he's like, younger.
Oh, that's right.
And they bring in another one, he's like, younger.
Oh my gosh.
So then, the next time you see him, he's got like 3 little girls in front of him. He's like
Oh, my
beating them with a
gosh.
cane. So it's
This
not
is-
even like
You're
what?
right. You're right.
What?
I had totally
It's
blocked.
messed up.
I had totally blocked that part
But-
because that really.
That's messed up.
That's. You're right. That's
The only good part of that is Arya gets to stab him in the throat, and
that's right.
and that's the one. That's the one part where I'm like, okay,
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
I'm happy with someone getting stabbed in the throat.
Holy cow! That is. I blocked that part out.
Messed up, dude. That's just because I recently watched it. I remember like all the atrocious things that made my
that
stomach
is
squirt.
so right. Because I turned to Missy. I'm like, I can't.
Nah.
I can't. Because I get really like when children.
That's right. That one comic you were telling me about that. What's the name? Defiant. Not Defiant. That's a movie. Never mind.
Oh no, Saga.
Saga. Yes.
Yeah, right.
And
There's
something
parts of
happened,
it.
and then you were like, "Oh, I
Like
don't like this.
Taken, the movie with
I never seen it.
it's-
Liam Neeson.
Yeah, Liam Neeson.
I have a
Really
particular
good.
set of skills.
Yes, but anyways.
Yeah. Anyway,
So
He gets
she
his
is
own in the end,
stone
trust me.
cold. Yes.
but yeah, she's becoming.
Yeah, she's crazy.
Unstable.
She's not. She was such a nice, innocent person, and to see this
she?
world back at the castle before all this happened.
I guess. Yeah, she was a child.
She was a child. I mean, they were all innocent at one time, especially in Winterfell.
Which seemed like a nice,
Just a
awesome
great,
place,
awesome. Now
right?
it's just burned to the ground. People that are filleting people are now living there. Anyways, so
back to the flayers, just flayers everywhere.
golly, yeah, you're right. I thought the flaying was the worst, but yeah,
That's
that
not-
was the
It was
worst.
bad. Don't get me wrong, but it's not the worst. Man alive.
Okay,
So
so now
post podcast, we're just gonna cry.
I'm crying in
just
the
gonna
corner.
cry in the fetal position.
So
for
now,
like an hour.
where do you think? I think the show's going to go in a different direction, and the reason
Oh,
is
man.
this:
I have no idea what
he's written 5 books,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to say the first book was written in '99,
Okay.
and then each book. I'm trying to go quick.
I think you said it was like 3 years.
And it takes about 3 years for a book. Fire and Ice. Just bear with me for
Fire and
5
Ice.
seconds.
Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Okay. Yeah, I've lost it. Okay, so
Okay.
okay, so the idea is it takes he's
Let's say
writing
roughly it takes about 3 years.
it's taken him a long time to write these books.
Yes.
So he is caught up, and he won't have a book for a while. So now the show is going to go in a different direction than if he writes the books. He might not write the books anymore.
Really?
I don't know. He might write a different
Just
series.
pissed off. He's like, what if they were like, you can't kill anybody anymore?
Because-
He's like, nope, I'm done.
Normally what people do is they now kind of go with popular opinion. Why would you kill off your main character?
Jon Snow.
Or why do you kill these? I mean,
What?
And maybe they don't. Maybe they
Well-
keep going with it. The reason why it's such a popular show is I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know why either. But you know what? I think I know the reason it's edgy is because nobody's safe.
Nobody's safe.
Nobody is safe ever in that show.
Yeah. And so
And
now
what better way to prove it than by killing all the people we love?
I know. It's ridiculous. Okay, so yeah, here. Game of Thrones was the first book, 96, the 98, 2000, 2005
Wow.
was the 4th season. The 5th season came out in 2011. So it took him 6 years
Man,
to
it's
write.
getting longer and longer.
Yeah. So
Although,
I think Jon Snow is going to be alive. And the reason is they've seen him on set at season 6.
because he comes back as a White Walker.
The weather.
You didn't think about that,
I
did
didn't
you?
think about that.
What if he's a White Walker?
Gosh dang it.
He didn't get killed by White Walkers. He got killed by the Night's Watch. So that doesn't make sense.
Unless the White Walkers just come and there you go, and then he's just the White Walker king.
That's a good end of the show. The White Walkers take over everything, and
then,
Jon Snow's in charge of it all.
So then the other thing is this: how do you want this series to end?
Oh man,
can it end on a good note? And will it end on a good note? Do you think it will?
I think.
Or do you think
no?
They're
I don't
like
think it'll end on a good
season because he has 2 more books. He has 2 more books
like
named,
contracted out or whatever,
or whatever else. I just looked it up. They're like coming, but if
Game of Thrones,
say it
Broken
ends,
Dreams.
Say it ends at season 7, and then you watch it, and then like everybody dies, like the nuclear holocaust. Would you be happy with that?
And Game of Thrones, you'll cry tonight.
I know.
No, I would not be happy.
So what?
And I'd be upset that I invested so much time.
What do you want to happen?
I want Jon Snow to live. I want Jon Snow to be Robert Baratheon's bastard, not Ned Stark's bastard. Because I've always thought that's what happened.
It could be,
That
yes.
Ned Stark was like, okay, I'll take one for the team and say he's my kid. But
Right.
he's not really. He's Robert Baratheon's kid. And I want Jon Snow, they to figure that out, and him to be king. And go to King's Landing and be king of everything.
And you're fine with what do you?
I'm fine with him leaving the Night's Watch. But I want also...
What about Tyrone?
Oh, I want him to come and be like, they're like, we're best buds and we're living forever in the kingdom.
And
No
dragons
White
and
Walkers
Khaleesi?
here. Khaleesi and the dragons stay on the other continent and live happily forever.
Okay.
And the White Walkers get defeated.
They get defeated.
And
then they kill the...
Oh, the Mountain is almost dead in that fight.
Yeah.
He comes back to life because of
that's right. He's like
her
the
Mesa or whatever.
Frankenstein, yeah.
The Franken Mountain.
Yeah. I want Cersei to die.
Oh, yeah. Evilly.
I don't know about Jaime.
Like, bad. Jaime, I want to live.
I want Jaime to kill Cersei.
Yeah.
That would be
very
satisfying.
Is way over.
And then him to just be awesome. Because I don't know. And then he marry Captain Phasma, whoever her name is.
Oh, yeah. Bree of Tarth.
And then they
Tarth
have
of
little
Bree.
babies that
Brienne
only have
of
one
Tarth.
hand.
Little babies that only have one hand. That doesn't make any sense. Be like, I know.
Oh, does it?
It was
It
weird.
doesn't?
It was really weird.
If I don't have a hand, my kids don't have hands? No, that doesn't
Okay,
work.
question. I always thought, like, incest, I don't know, make, like, freak babies, right?
Normally it makes crazy. And if you
really?
can tell...
I thought it would be, like, genetically freaked out.
Kind
weirdo.
of. Yes and no. It makes more people... I think it makes more people crazy.
Like lunatics. Like,
And that's why
mentally
they
unstable.
talk about... that's how the Mad King is, mad.
yeah.
And I think at one time, Jaime turns to Cersei and says, see, we shouldn't have done this because... who's the crazy kid?
Joffrey.
Joffrey. I mean, Joffrey is the reason why. I mean, we saw with the Mad King.
'Cause, man, that
Yeah.
kid was messed up.
Messed up. Just.
Well, he's
yeah.
dead. Who cares?
He's dead now.
Yeah, anything else you'd want to see out of the end of...
I don't know.
What about Sir Jorah or whoever the guy is who gets stoned? Who gets stoned? The guy who gets, like, stone skin? What do you want to happen to him? I want him to... I want him to be
live.
accepted back by the
Yes,
Khaleesi.
I do too. The other thing, what do you think of Bran and all that? What do you want to do with that?
I don't know.
I'm excited. That part feels very
weird,
mystical and like
Yeah.
it feels like, oh my gosh, they just got killed by skeletons.
I want for him to be able to walk.
Yes.
And I want
No,
for
I
him
want-
and
you know
the
what
other
I want
kid's
him?
sister to get together.
I want him to fly.
To fly. Yeah, I think what the old dude means is that you're a
I know,
warrior.
I
You're
know,
gonna
I
take
know, I
over
know.
You're going to take over a bird and
But
fly.
he
That was
just-
kind of a cool part. With the wildlings, they had a bunch of people that could take over birds and scout up ahead of them.
Yes.
That's cool.
And climbing that wall is
man, that was
ridiculously crazy.
Not only that whenever the wildlings were like full on attacking, and they're getting too high, they're like, release the Sith or whatever.
And just
And it's this giant blade on chain. Just
that, and
That
that
was
was the one episode where there was no going between. That was a
that
full
was all
episode.
on the wall. Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
a first on stuff like that. So there are definitely parts just mixed in with just horribleness of evilness.
They're never going to beat the White Walkers.
I just feel... I know.
I don't know how. I don't know how they're going to beat the White Walkers.
I just feel like, well, yeah, go get the... Is the evil Red Witch, is she dead?
She left, and she came back to...
That's right, she just ran.
Yeah. She was like, you should kill your daughter. And then they kill her daughter, and she's like, I'm out of here. I'm outie. You didn't actually do that, did you? Oh, no.
It was a joke. That was a joke. That was just a joke. What?
Do you ever say something, and then you think about it afterwards? I didn't think you'd take it seriously. She goes back to the wall.
I don't know how they're gonna fix this, but I think they will. I think it'll be like. I feel like right now is the point. It's like Empire,
the darkest before the night.
Right, it's Empire, and now is going to be Return of the Jedi.
Darkest
Everything's going to be happiest.
Always darkest for the day. I mean,
it's going to start. It's going to be like the third act of the play. And good stuff are starting to happen because it's going to be different writers. And when you have a bunch of writers in a room, they're going to be like, people are pissed right now because Jon Snow died.
It makes you wonder with George R.R. Martin, like what
yes.
What goes through his head when he writes this stuff?
That's what I wanted. That's the other thing. He's just like, how can I creep people out?
Like, what's worse than burning your daughter alive?
Or filleting somebody. Beating children.
Oh, there you go.
Beating children.
That's worse. There you go.
There you go. Yeah.
What's nightmares made of? Let's see.
Seriously.
It's got to... I don't understand how you can do that.
Wow, I thought...
not take a toll. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The other thing is...
Maybe that's why it's taking longer and longer for him to write his book. He's like, I'm running out of bad things to happen.
Do you know what he writes on? He writes on like an old Tandy 1000 and saves it on like disk. It's not hooked up to the internet.
Oh, really?
He has two computers, one that's hooked up to the internet, one that is like DOS, and that he writes everything on floppies.
See, when you said that, I would have guessed tablets of human skin with the blood of newborn babies.
Yes.
in zinc. That's what I would have guessed.
Yes.
That he
no. He does it in the blood of babies, and then
on a tandem,
on like human skin.
It scans it in,
and then he writes it and dictates it onto the computer.
Well, that makes sense.
Oh,
yeah. You got to write with baby blood. I mean,
I feel like the FBI should be watching him very closely,
dude.
Like,
somebody should.
Someone should be watching him very, like,
just saying that man needs Jesus. Okay, I'm just saying.
Oh my gosh, you have a writer's room of one, and this is what's coming
just
up
him?
with.
There's no other writers.
That's him. No, it's just
that's
him.
Messed up.
Yeah, it's going to be different. Anyways,
okay. Well,
anything else?
Man, nothing else like it that I want to happen in the next season. I can't think of anything.
Less murder.
Yeah, I want to say that yes, things will get better, but
probably not.
It probably won't. And people are probably
it won't be as bad.
It's gonna be bad.
A group of people in the writers' room are not going to throw out, "Hey, I got an idea."
I really hope so.
Let's take a baby and just cut off each digit. And somebody in the other part of the room's like, "You can't do that.
Shouldn't do that." Yeah.
Or no one's going to be like, say that out loud because the other writers are going to be like, "You're crazy."
Exactly.
But if they do it, don't blame that on me.
Yeah.
Because I did not come up with baby digit.
Well, you did just
say
baby digit cutting off, so that's not good.
Oh man.
But I was here, and it was just brought up in casual conversation. It wasn't written on the skin of skin tablets with newborn baby blood. So, it won't be in the show because that's the pattern.
Follow us on Twitter at UsernameNerd. Man, that's a sad part.
Yeah, that's all right. Let's wrap this up. I got some crying to do.
We have a Username Nerd YouTube channel. We are now on. We are on Switcher. We on Stitcher, and we are on Google Play and the Apple iTunes. Go to the app. We haven't talked about this in a while. If you could go to the Apple iTunes store and give us some reviews, that would be really awesome. Some 5-star reviews, not 1-star. We're not looking for 1-star reviews.
I'll take anything at this point.
Yeah,
I just want some feedback.
You can
Also-
contact us at comments at usernamenerd.com. You can also go to our website, usernamenerd.com, and fill out a
The
form there
comments.
as well.
Comments section on the page.
And come visit us
Yes, please.
at Planet Comic Con,
You know
Kansas
what?
City,
If you
May 20th to 22nd.
have wanted to go to a Comic-Con and you're like, oh man, it's such a big trip, or if maybe, let's say this, if you want to go to Comic-Con and you're like me, where I'd like to
Yep.
go to the San Diego Comic-Con, but
Yep.
man, that's such a mess.
It is. It doesn't even
Come to
sound
ours.
appealing.
Come
does
on,
it?
instead.
It
doesn't
does it not sound
to me.
appealing? And I hear this. Some of these other Comic Cons are beating them out. They're
'cause they're
becoming
less-
more. People are going more to the smaller ones, and they're becoming big. I mean, we've grown
I mean, New York
3 to
Comic-Con,
4
Dragon
times
Con.
as big. Yeah, and
You know, the only condition I would go to Comic-Con is like I've won the lottery, and like I can afford like a private suite.
but
you
you
know
have to
what I mean?
fight the traffic. I mean, not traffic of people.
crowd?
The
Yeah.
crowd is just you can't get anywhere.
Well, I have some bodyguards
Or
that
if
I've hired.
some other things I've heard about it is if you want to go see something, you just have to camp out all day to go to one panel.
Yeah, that's
they're
messed
just
up.
horrible. I mean, I just can't imagine.
Well, and I'm
Anyways.
surprised by like the people that are at our Comic-Con.
Mhm.
There's some famous people.
Oh yeah,
Adama's gonna be there this
Yeah.
year, so I mean,
yeah.
it's awesome.
Normally we have a bigger cast, and I think you'll give a bigger cast coming up.
Yeah,
But we've had Star Trek.
we've had.
it's
Let's
just-
not try and think of them now because we
No,
won't be able to remember.
You're exactly right.
Plus, I'm depressed from the Game of Thrones
Game of
version.
Thrones. I thought this would. Yeah.
You
yeah.
thought it'd be fun?
I thought it. Yeah, and then I totally
How
forgot
silly.
about a lot of that. Well, you wanna
Yeah, stay depressed.
stay sad?
stay crying.
Stay.
Let's say just stay nerdy. Oh.
Okay, stop. Don't go to the next YouTube video or channel or skip or don't do anything. Real quick, 5 seconds. We have 3 different channels. Please subscribe to them. Username Nerd News, Username Nerd Comics, Username Nerd Games. We have separated them out into 3 ones. Choose all of them or just one to subscribe to. You'd love it. I promise you, we'll give you great content. It'll show up in your feed. You'll love it. Just real quick click. It doesn't take but a few seconds. You'd be awesome. Thank you. I mean, you're really awesome. Thank you.